Hi guys, today we're going to learn about simulations and predictions. In order to obtain the probability of various events, a simulation is often conducted. It allows us to, let's get a drawing, allows us to represent the likelihood of a real life event occurring by using an experiment with similar probabilities. There we go. This method is used by researchers when it's difficult to collect experimental data or when theoretical probability is unknown. So you might do something like toss a coin, um, spin a spinner, do a drawing. Okay. Um, Let me give you some examples. A multiple choice question, there's a 25% of getting the answer correct. So instead of having the kids take the test yet because you haven't put it out, what you could do is spin a spinner. You could spin a spinner with 4 equal sections. And what would happen is you can predict the results based on this experiment. Okay. For example, the weather report shows that there's a 50% chance of rain. You could flip a coin. Okay. So the whole point is because remember yesterday we did theoretical versus experimental. Well, you're not going to experiment on the actual people or the actual situation. So you do something that would be similar to it. Okay. This isn't as important. We're actually going to go on through and get to making predictions. This is the important part of today's lesson. Probability can be used to make predictions for future occurrences. The probability of rolling a 6 on a number cube is 1/6. If the number cube is rolled 50 times, then approximately how many times will a 6 be rolled? Well, what you do is we're just doing a proportion. 1 out of 6 is the chances. So what will happen? How many out of 50? So you just cross multiply and you will discover that 8 equals 1 and 1/3. Okay. So let's look at real life examples of this. And here's an example. Counselors, people setting up events, they do all the time. Kinsey surveyed a random group of 7th graders as to whether they preferred video games, sports, or neither. Use the survey to make predictions for a class of 350. Well, this obviously doesn't equal 350. So let's add that up and we see that that equals 40. So what's the prediction for the number that will prefer video games? Well, 15 out of 40 prefer video games. So how many out of 350 will prefer video games? And so you'll see that the answer, I think it's 130. Well, let me just do it really quick. So 15 times 350 divided by 40. So you get 131.25, but you can't have 0.25 of a person. So your answer would just be 131 will probably choose video games. Well, based on the information in the table, what is most reasonable prediction for the next 80 votes? Well, again, you're going to use the 15 out of 40, and then will equal how many out of 80, and you're going to get the answer of 30 students. A fast way of doing this is 40 becomes 80 by timesing by 2. So if you do it to the bottom, you do it to the top. So you get 30 students. Okay, Ellie has a package of 15 candies. After opening it, she found that 13 were not green If she opened 3 more packages of candy, how many green candies would she have? Well, if 13 out of 15 are not green, that means 2 out of 15 are green. And so if she does that 3 more times, how many in total? So we're going to have 60 in total. So what would that equal? Well, again, 15 becomes 60 by timesing by 4. So if you do it to the bottom, you do it to the top. So there should be 8 candies that are green. Okay, I think you get the gist of it. It's just setting up a proportion to be able to predict what will happen when you have a larger number. Go ahead and get started on your activities.